everyone. Let's learn new lesson statements, negations, and quantified statements. First one, definition of statement. Statement is a sentence that is either true or false, but not both simultaneously. For example, London is the capital of England. This is a true statement. I can tell it is true. Second one, William Shakespeare wrote a television series Modern Family. This is also a true statement. So both of these two sentences, they are statement. Counter examples. Some sentences such as commands, questions, and opinions, these are not statement. For example, if I say drink some water, do your homework, write some letters, and are you a teacher? I think cupcake is better than better than ice cream. So these are all the sentences we cannot tell is true or false. We're using PQR or S to represent a statement. For example, the first example, I can use P to represent the statement. Negation of the statement. For example, my statement is London is the capital of England. The negation is using the wave. Is not P, or the negation of P is it is not true. So it is not true that P, the P sentence is London is the capital of England. We can also make it easier. London is not the capital of England. Second example, today is Monday, is my Q. Not Q, or we say is negation of Q is it is not true. Then Q, today is Monday, but we can make it easy. Today is not Monday. Using the symbols not P as not P. Let's do some practice. If I give you two statements, the first one is Shakespeare wrote the television series Modern Family. Second statement is today is not Monday. Express each of the following statements symbolically. Okay, how to write the question A and B into the symbol of P and Q. So let's read the sentence. Shakespeare didn't write the television series Modern Family. But here it says Shakespeare wrote the television series. This is negation of P. Let's put not P here. Today is Monday is my B. But in my Q is today is not Monday. So my B means negation of Q. Let's see next example. Translate the negation represented by symbols into English. It's another example of negation. If I have the P, statement P, the United States has the world's highest divorce rate, then the not P means the United States does not have the world's highest divorce rate. We have the negation. Quantify the statement containing the words all, some, and no. If the statement has some quantified words like all, some, no. Oh, another some. So we will say these are quantified statement. For this quantified statement, we have the equivalent form to make the statement. So let's read these four sentences. All poets are writers. Some people are bigots. No common codes are fatal. Some of them do not work hard. Okay. Let's see how to find the equivalent way to express the statement. If in the sentence we have the quantified words like all, some, no. So first one is all A are B. What is the equivalent of all A are B? It is there are no A that are not B. You see, if you negate the A, you negate the A. You make a negation of A. Then you have a negation of B. Okay. Then let's see one example. All points are writers. That is, all A are B. We will say no A are no B. So there are no points that are not writer. Second one, some A are B. So some A are B. The equivalent statement is there exists at least one A that is a B. You can memorize at least one A is B. Some A are B. At least one A is B. Some people are bigots. We'll say at least one person is bigot. Next one, no A are B. So no A are B. The equivalent statement is all A are not B. You see, in this sentence, I negate the no A becomes all A. So in this statement, I'm having not A are B. And the negation of the first part is all A are negate the B, not B. So I negate the first statement, then second statement. So make it easier to memorize the statement. All right, let's see. All A are not B. Let's see the example. No common colds are fatal. The equivalent statement is all common colds are not fatal. No common colds are fatal. All common colds are not fatal. Next one. Some A are not B. The equivalent expression is not all A are B. Okay. So you can tell that I negate the A, and then the B part becomes the second part becomes B. So negate the first one, and then so we say R, negation of B. Negation of this one. This one is not, so it is B. All right. Let's see the example. Some students do not work hard. And then the equivalent sentence is not all students work hard. All right, let's use all of these to write the equivalent statement of the following examples. First one, some beetles are carnivorous. Some beetles are carnivorous. That means at least one beetle is carnivorous. Let's see, second one. Some bushes are not silver. That means not all bushes are silver. Okay, let's see more examples. No integers are numbers. The same meaning is all integers are not numbers. Okay, last one. Not all students are bored. The same meaning sentence, the equivalent way to express this is some students are not bored. Okay, write the negation. Now we are not finding the equivalent. We are finding the negation of quantified statement. First one, all writers are poets. What is the negation of the P? We will say some writers are not poets. Okay, look at the image. So if I say all writers are poets, so all writers are poets is inside of a set of poets. And the negation is some are not poets. So the writer is not inside of the poets set. So some of the writers are not poets. And next one, some calories weigh 50 pounds. So some calories weigh 50 pounds. The negation is no calories weighs 50 pounds. Okay, the meaning of some calories weigh 50 pounds. So we have the intersection between calories and 50 pounds objects. And the negation is no calorie weight 50 pounds. And there is no intersections. Okay, let's do the conclusion. If I have the statement all A are B, then the negation is some A are not B. For example, all people take exam honestly. The negation is some people do not take the exam honestly. And the next statement is some A are B. The negation is no A are B. Example, some roads are open. Negation is no roads are open. It takes us a while to memorize them. And here is a cross method help you memorize a negation of quantified statement. For example, if I have A are B, and then the negation of A are B is some A are not B. If I have some A are B, the negation is no A are B. Let's do some practice. I erased them, but it's not perfectly. But let's try to fill out the blanks. The first one is all humans are mortal. The negation is some human are not mortal. Second statement, some students do not come to class prepared. And the negation is all students come to class prepared. Next statement is some psychotherapists are in therapy, and the negation is none of the psychotherapists are in the therapies. And last one, no well-behaved dogs shred couches. The negation is some well-behaved dogs shred couches. Okay, let's see next part, compound statement and connectives. Compound statements formed by combining two or more simple statements. The first one we are learning is and. P and Q, we're using the symbol to represent statement P, and statement Q is P and Q. This small symbol we call and it is called conjunction. So P, the statement P is it is after 5 p.m. Statement Q is they are working. Let's see the A. It is after 5 p.m. is the first statement, P. And this is a conjunction. They are working is my second statement. Then I know how to combine these two together. We're having P and Q. That's a conjunction. And second statement is, it is after 5 p.m. This is my statement P. And they are not working. So they are not working. It is a negation of Q. So it's not Q. So P and not Q is my symbol of the second statement. Let's see some equivalent of the conjunctions. So if I have the P and Q, the conjunction, and the English statement, we can say P and Q. We can also say P but Q. We can also say P yet Q. P nevertheless Q. They all represent a conjunction. For example, the P is, it is after 5 p.m. The Q statement is they are working. If I have a P and Q, I can say it is after 5 p.m. and they are working. Or we say, but they are working. Yet they are working. Nevertheless, they are working. They all represent the conjunction. Let's see, next part is or statement, P or Q. Symbolized by P or Q is called the disjunction. Excuse me. Let P and Q represent the following statement. P is the bill receives majority approval. The Q statement is the bill becomes a law. And write each compound statement below in symbolic form. Let's see. The bill receives majority's approval. This is my statement P. And then I see or. Or is disjunction. Or the bill becomes a law. This is my Q statement. Rewrite this one in the symbol form. It is P or Q. Next one. The bill receives majority approval, or the bill doesn't become a law. First sentence is my P, and or means disjunction. Bill doesn't become a law, that is not Q. So combine them together, we have P or not Q. Let's see, if then statement, conditional statement. If P then Q, we call this conditional statement or if then statement. And the symbol of this is if P then Q. The first statement P is a person is father. Second statement Q is a person is a male. Write the compound statement in the symbolic form. The first one is if a person is a father. Oh, you see if, then that person is a male. This is a conditional statement. If P, this is a P statement. If P, then Q, because second part is the Q statement. So P, if P, then Q. Second statement, if a person is a male, this is a Q. Then that person is the father, this is a P. So if Q, then P. So Q, if Q, then P. The third example is if a person is not a male is not Q, then a person is not a father, not P. Okay, Let's see, next part. Sometimes we omit the then and simply we use a comma. So sometimes in English, in your English class, the teacher will not ask you to have then. You can use a comma. If I'm saying the same meaning sentence, if P then Q, I can say if P then Q. The example is, for example, I have two statements, P and Q. If a person is a father, then that person is a male. If I'm using different notation, I can say Q if P. I can also say Q first. Then we can say if P. For example, a person is a male if that person is a father. And another same statement is P is sufficient for Q. Being a father is sufficient for being a male. We can also say Q is necessary for P. Being a male necessary for being a father. We can only say P only if Q. A person is a father only if that person is a male. Or we can also say only if Q, comma P. If only if a person is a male, is that person is a male, that person is a father. I think they have the typo here. All right, next part we are learning if and only if statement. The symbol is here. This means if and only if. The phrase if and only if can be abbreviated as IFF. Let's see the if and only if statement. If I have P, if only if Q. English statement is P if only if Q. I can also say Q if and only if P. So the position P and Q, Q doesn't matter. I can say P if only if Q, or I can also say Q if only if P. And the next equivalent statement is if P then Q and if Q then P. What's the meaning of that? If P then Q and if Q then P. So we combine them together, that is if and only if. All right, let's see. Next equivalent expression. We're having P is necessary and sufficient of Q. Or we can say Q is necessary and sufficient for P. For example, P is a person is a married male. Q is a person is a bachelor. The equivalent statement, they are a person is a married male if and only if that person is bachelor. So this is P if only if Q. Second one, a person is a bachelor if and only if that person is a married male. This is also P if and only if Q. Next one, even you see the position changed. So this is it's too long. So this statement is a Q statement, and this is the P statement. But I told you that if I have Q, it's only if P. It also means P is only if Q. So they are just equivalent. That's the reason I'm having P is only if only if Q. Okay, let's see next statement. If we have the same meaning. If a person is a married male, then that person is a bachelor. If a person is a bachelor, then that person is a married male. This is also P, if only if Q. Next sentence, being a married male is necessary and sufficient for being a bachelor. P, if only if Q. Last sentence, being a bachelor is necessary and sufficient for being a married male. P, if only if Q. Let's see next part. So next part, let P and Q represent the following simple statement. P is she is wealthy. Q, she is happy. If I want to express the symbolic statement here in the English word, what should I do? So what's the meaning of this wave? That means negation. That means not. We can say it is not true. And then the parentheses. So in the parentheses, I will say it is not true that P and Q. So P is she is wealthy. And happy, because the Q is she is happy. We just say she and happy. And the second statement is negation. You negate the P and the Q. So this is also a negation. So I'm going to have she is not wealthy. This is not P. Comma, and she is happy. Since not P, then and Q. So I'm having a parenthesis here. This represents not P. After the parentheses, and she is happy. Okay, last sentence. This symbol means not, means negation, means it is not true. It is not true that in the parentheses we are having P, she is wealthy. Or, because you see the disjunction, or Q, or happy. But in English, someone will say, she is neither wealthy or happy. Nor happy. Okay, let's see next part. Symbolic statement. Statement to group together. Okay, if in the statement or symbolic statement, you see there is a parenthesis. And the statement Q and not P, they are grouped because they are in the parentheses. Like operations, we say parentheses goes first. We group the statement inside of the parentheses. Inside the parentheses, what do we have? We have Q and not P. So the English translation about this sentence is, if Q and not P, comma, because in front of the comma, this is your grouped statements, comma, then not R. So if the grouped statement, then not R, because this is not R. This is if and then sentence. If then sentence. Next example, you see the grouped part is in the parentheses, not P. If not P, then not R. In the parentheses, we have not P. If not P, then not R. So how to say this sentence? Okay. Before the and symbol, before this and symbol, and after this and symbol. Before and after, we're having two statements. First statement is Q only. After the and symbol is the parentheses. So we are going to separate them. The first part is Q, comma. The second part, the grouped part, is and, because the conjecture. This one is and. If not P, then not R. This is my parentheses. Let's do some practice. Okay. In this example, we have 3 statements. We want to translate a symbolic statement into the English word statement. This one is the P statement is a student misses lecture. Q, a student studies. R, student fails. First statement is grouped. The grouped statement. So this is if. The grouped statement. Then not R. Okay, how to translate this? Since you see there is a parenthesis, then we need to have a comma here. Okay, I'm going to rewrite this one to be if Q and not P. Q is a student studies and not P is and does not study. Oh, my bad. Okay, let's do this. What is Q? Q is here, so I think yes, Q is here. If there's no mistake. If a student studies and does not miss lecture. So because this is not P, so P is here. Does not miss lecture. Comma. Then the student will not fail. Does not fail. All right. Let's see next example. Q and the grouped statement. In the parentheses we have not if not P, then not R. How to write this into English? So what is Q? So let's highlight the Q. A student studies. It's very messy here. Okay, Q is a student studies and. But did you see the grouped, the parentheses, the grouped statement? Yes, that means I'd better separate the first Q and the grouped item with the parentheses. Let's have parentheses here. And in the parentheses we have if, not P. So not P means student didn't miss lecture, or student doesn't miss lecture. Then not R means the student does not fail. Okay, we're done this part. Let's see. Dominance of connective. So dominance of connective used in symbolic logic is defined in the following order. Biconditional. What is biconditional? Is an if and only if is most dominant. Second one is conditional. Then conjunction, disjunction, they are and an or symbol. Negation is the least dominant. So if in the expression there is no parentheses, no grouped statement, what should I do? And how to decide the statement which part is grouped together? So how to decide? How to decide the statement to group together? We're using the dominance of connective. You'd better have this sentence on your notes. It is if a symbolic statement appears without a parenthesis, and then the statement before or after the most dominant connective should be grouped. Okay, for example, if I give you an example, I have P. If P, then Q and not R. So we have a lot of connective symbols. So which part should be grouped? We talked about the dominance of connective. So the most dominant is, the most dominance in this example is conditional. If then case. So if I have if then case, the front and back or before and after they will be grouped. That means I need to, so this one is equivalent. So this is equivalent to the P, if the P then grouped Q and not R. Okay, I need to find the most dominant connectives. Then box the previous part and the after parts or following parts. Okay, let's see the example. We have three statements, P, Q, R. P is I failed the course. Q is I study hard. R is I passed the final. Write the statements into the symbolic form. The first one, I do not fail the course if and only if I study hard and I pass the final. Did you see if and only if? That is a symbol like this. And in front of the if and only if, what do we have? I do not fail the course. That is the negation of P. And after this if and only if symbol, we have two statements. I study hard and I pass the final. That is my Q and R. So Q and R. Even I can just leave it like this. But in your mind, you must know that we are going to box the group, the front, before the if and only if, after if and only if, because in this symbolic form we have the dominant connective sign, which is if and only if. All right, and next example. I do not fail the course if and only if I study hard and I pass the final. So in this case, we have if and only if again. In front of if and only if, I do not fail the course, that is negation of P. If I study hard, okay, but did you see something here? Yes. If I study hard, after that there is a parenthesis. That means we're having, I study hard, it is Q. I need to combine the negative P and Q into a group. And then after the comma, I have the last statement, and. So, and I pass the final, which is R. So if you see the comma, that means you should group in front of the comma and after the comma. And some of you say, why you said that? You said after if and only if you should group rest of the statement, but this is a special one because you have a comma. If you have a comma, that means in front of the comma they are all together in the group, and after the comma they are all together in the group. Okay, that's the last example. Let me know if you have any question.